गुड आफ्टरनून। आज प्री श्योर था क्या? हाँ हाँ, तभी इतना आगे आगे आ गई है कुर्सियां। बैठो बैठो। अक्षत, व्हाई यू आर नॉट परफॉर्मिंग गुड? ओके। नहीं, तुम्हारा भी बहुत अच्छा नहीं है, तो मुस्कुराने वाली बात है नहीं। और हर्षित, तुम तो मुझे दिखे ही नहीं। हम्म। ओके, लेट अस स्टार्ट। सो वी डिड लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी एंड justice, and the interplay of these three ideals. Acha, what is the difference between ideal? What is the meaning of ideal? Perfect. Something which is perfect is ideal. Can ideal equality, liberty and justice possible? Is it possible? Can we have perfect equality, perfect liberty? This means that when we say ideal of equality, ideal of liberty and ideal of justice, we ourselves understand that it is a utopian idea. It is something which is so perfect, but it is not achievable. But nonetheless, should we not aspire for it? We should. We should aspire for equality. We should aspire for liberty, and we should aspire for justice. Even though currently, if we say, can you say India is an equal country? No? But slowly and steadily, aren't we moving towards more and more equality? And this is only because we have this ideal in our mind that we should aspire at least for ideal equality. Similarly, liberty, and similarly, justice. This means the concept, any concept, has prescriptive and descriptive aspects. Prescriptive matlab ought to be. Ought to be means that something that should be there. Like people should be treated equally. Men and women should be treated equally. There should be no caste discrimination. All of these things that are ought to be. People should be free of hunger, unemployment, misery and pain. Ought to be. Societies should be so just that nobody should feel unjust or unfair. Ought to be. But descriptive means what is empirically. Empirically means what is in experience. Reality में क्या है? What is in experience? So currently also there are areas where there are experienced equality. Like all students of this class are being treated equally. Equality. You people have certain liberty, though I have given much more. But there is a sense of liberty that you can ask or anything like that. Liberty. So what is experienced? What is the experienced reality of equality, liberty and justice? So this will differ, while prescriptive will be not changing because it is very close to the ideal itself. But this descriptive will be changing according to time, according to place, according to the context. Afghanistan, descriptive equality. Bad. Very unequal society. Men and women are highly, or any other tribes, Pashtuns and Hazaras. Afghanistan is divided into Pashtuns and Hazaras. Anybody read the book Kite Runner? Thousand Splendid Suns? No problem. Absolutely no problem. School, college? College? College mein, you read books when? College? Summer holidays? After interview? After selection, yes. Oh, you have read Kite Runner. Arshpreet, thank you. At least someone has read some book. Good. So, Pashtuns and Hazaras, lot of inequality. Similarly, in America, what is the descriptive equality there? There is much more equality in comparison to Afghanistan, but not perfect itself. So descriptive means what is in the actuality. So in our constitution, it is written, procedurally it is written, nobody can practice untouchability. Nobody can discriminate on the basis of caste, class, religion, gender, place of birth, etc. But this is prescriptive. Constitution is prescribed. But what is followed? Descriptive. It means there are certain areas where the discrimination is happening. So when we say descriptive, it is the reality. And when we say prescriptive, it means the ideal. What ought to be. Clear? Now, very close to this notion, there are two chapters in our syllabus. Caste discrimination and gender discrimination. Actually, these are given at the last, but they are a continuation of liberty, equality, and justice only. Therefore, we will do it here rather than doing at the last. Because in both these topics, in both these chapters, we will be discussing what? What happens in caste discrimination? What happens to equality? There is no equality. Basically, caste means unequal relations. So equality is hampered. Liberty, hampered. Justice, hampered. So basically, caste discrimination is the problem of equality, liberty, and justice. Similarly, here, what is going wrong? Equality, liberty, and justice. So we will do it here. Both these chapters we will do. Today we will start with caste discrimination. Okay, tell me. How many of you know your caste? Is there anyone who doesn't know their caste? Is there anyone who is not aware about their caste? We all know? See, we all know what caste we belong. This means it plays a very important role in our life. The moment in family, your sociological training starts. Your parents, your family members start talking in the terms of caste. हम खत्री हैं. हम बनिए हैं, हम राजपूत हैं, हम मराठा हैं, whatever, different caste, and each one, हम शांडिल्य ब्राह्मण है। शांडिल्य मतलब हम, हाँ वो ऐसे कहते हैं ना, so if two Brahmins are talking, they will say, what kind of Brahmin you are? Oh, I am a Shandilya Brahmin. And other will say, God, gods are down. Shandilyas are the upmarket Brahmins. Is it? You are a Shandilya? See? See? Acha, how many of you think that your caste is a very important and what do you say? The most higher caste. How many of you think that your caste is the higher caste? हाँ। अच्छा ओके छोड़ो। How many of you know 50 people beyond your caste? अरे अब स्कूल कॉल, अब तुम ऐसे यहाँ पे यूपीएससी की लाइफ में आ गए हो ना, इसलिए तुम्हें पता चल गए हैं। वैसे भी पता है। अच्छा, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव रिलेटिव्स आउट ऑफ योर कास्ट? एनी रिलेटिव्स विच आर नॉट योर कास्ट? 10 relatives, 20 relatives. But you see, slowly and steadily, all your influence. नहीं पता तुम्हें कास्ट? इधर आ जाओ, मैं बता देती हूँ कास्ट। You don't know, I have the capability of defining the caste. If you don't have, I will give you one. Okay. So this means that caste has played a very important, but from where the caste originated? So earlier, there were 4 varnas as prescribed in Vedas. And out of these 4 varnas, people, this was no. So initially varna was not neither hierarchical nor hereditary. It was not based on birth. It was based on specialization. It was based on specialization. This means that people who were proficient in learning, knowledge, they were termed as Brahmins. Those people who were strong and could fight, had the qualities of courage, they were given the classification of Kshatriya. And there were people who were good in negotiations, trading, producing, working hard, Vaishyas. And the people who could not do all the 3, but were good at serving people, but very humble, Shudras. And now when these 4 were occupations, and in our NCERT we know, I have already told you, hai na, that people could switch varnas in one family also, people could have different varnas. But slowly and steadily, this system became based on birth. Because of, why did it become based on birth? Because of the environment and ease of learning. So a person whose father is a sunar, is working on gold, day and night, the child is looking at how to work on the gold. He has availability, a lot of pieces are there. He can try his hand, he can learn easily. So the most probable thing is, he will become sunar, because he will be good at this particular art form. So this is how, because of the environment and ease of learning, this whole thing became hereditary, whereby Father was Brahmin, child is Brahmin, another child is Brahmin. After 3-4 generations, it became hereditary. So child will be a Brahmin. And when this different varnas migrated to different regions, adopted different cultures, and different languages even, they started to turn into jatis. Jatis और castes. और जाति के बारे में कहावत है, बताओ. So there is a saying about jati that jati कभी नहीं जाती. हाँ, जो कभी नहीं जाती वही जाती है. This means jati is something which is inescapable. A person is born in a jati and he dies in a jati. Never in his lifetime he can be without a jati. It is what you say, believed. And this jati system is basically now an intermix of regionalism, culture, language, varna, religion even. So many Buddhists belong to a particular jati or caste, and they are also following Buddhism. Even Jains, Agarwal Jain. Agarwal or okay. So if you talk to some Jain, you will ask, what is your caste? They will say, oh, we are Garg. And then they are following religion of Jainism. Their Gotra is Garg, Kansal, Bothra, etc. But they are following Jainism. So even Sikhism, you will find such instances. This means that now the concept of jati or caste has become a very complex intermingling of culture. But still, the caste has become really important. And earlier there was the tendency of, earlier there was not a big problem because each caste coexisted and they had a subtle understanding that we are above, we are low, we are mediocre, and they had this whole understanding among each other. So each caste used to marry endogamous feature. Each one used to marry within their own caste. Of course, mostly it was the norm. Nobody was allowed to marry out of caste. Everyone used to marry in their caste, and there was still harmony was there. But then came Britishers. Now Britishers were baffled when they heard about the caste system. They could not understand. मतलब इतनी जातियां कैसे हो सकती हैं? They tried to classify, they tried to understand our jati system, our caste system, but they could not. Even after all scientific empirical AI they applied, they could not understand the jati system of India. And to understand it, to bring some sanity into the system, they started with the census thing. They said, let us count. Let us create some data. Which caste is upper, which is lower, what is the hierarchy of it. उसके बाद उन्होंने एक पेंडोरा बॉक्स खोल दिया. What is the Pandora box? What is the Pandora box? The one which once open is unstoppable. Something like this. So the ones Britishers tried to talk to people with jati, are you above this or that? Now people were like, now everybody claimed they are superior, they are of higher caste. Everyone fighting, we are above this, we are above this, everyone was above, no one was in middle or below. And Britishers became really and this whole system, caste consciousness, became really solid. And during full freedom struggle, caste was also a very important topic, issue which went on. And that is why we know that many thinkers, many national leaders devoted a lot of time thinking and philosophies to caste. Like Gandhiji, he also tried to move away from caste discrimination, to move Indian society away from caste discrimination. And the most important thinker in caste discrimination is B.R. Ambedkar Sahab. And he was so exhausted by the caste discrimination that he tried everything under his hat, everything. But later, he felt defeated and later turned to Buddhism. He adopted Buddhism. He relinquished his own religion of Hinduism. And today we know him as a champion of caste justice. Okay. No, it's not that these are the two major philosophers. There are other also. You know, Dr. Vidyasagar. और कौन है बताओ, तुम लोगों ने मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री पढ़ी है? राजा राम मोहन रॉय, सावित्रीबाई फूले, ज्योतिबा फूले, पेरियार, नमूदिपद और ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर हो गया, डॉक्टर विद्यासागर, दयानंद सरस्वती, controversial figure, but yes, Keshav Chandra Sen. You know what Keshav Chandra Sen did? No? Yeah. Oh God, what a... Okay, fine. So, you know, a lot of people fought against caste and caste discrimination. But let us start by defining what is a caste. Tell me, what is a caste? लिखो, वरना फिर बोलोगे कि अब मैंने सोचा तुम लोग ना लायक नहीं हो सिर्फ समझाने के. लिखो, caste is a sociological unit exclusively of Hindu society. Sociological unit exclusively of Hindu society. It is said that according to Vedas, cosmic person, Brahma Ji, gave rise to 4 castes. From mouth came Brahmins, from shoulders came Kshatriyas, from thigh came Vaishyas, and feet Shudras. ये तो पता होगा ना सबको? Next point. Some people also give guna theory for caste. Some people also give guna theory. Guna matlab sattva, rajas and tamas. Where Brahmins have sattva gun, Kshatriyas and Baniyas have rajas gun, and Shudras have predominantly tamas gun. अब इसका क्या लॉजिक है? So Brahmins were the ones who were devoting most of their time in vrat, yagya, puja. Therefore, more sattva gun, and they were more enlightened in their own approach. The original thought of Brahmin was this. Now it's not anymore true. So that was the notion of it. And Rajas requires some activity. So whether it is producing or whether it is protecting Kshatriyas, it requires activity. And Shudras were considered as tamas because they used to keep a little unclean, or the overall environment around them was created so that they could not actually practice the higher understanding of things. Like they were not given education, employment opportunities, and all of these things. So a gun theory is also given to explain about caste. Next point. Initially, Varna system was not based on birth, but rather on qualities and occupation. Even in same family, people could follow different varn. समझ के लिख लो ना. Even in same family, people could follow different varn. But slowly, due to ease of learning and environment, it became a closed system. Based on birth, ignoring merit. Next point. Caste is the cultural diversity found in various varnas. Caste is the cultural diversity found in various varnas. Like if you want to understand it, so all the people, Rajputs, Marathas, and lot of people, they claim Kshatriya as their varna, but jatis are different. So different types of Brahmins. How many types of Brahmin Gotra are there? 60. तुम तो ब्राह्मण हो, बताओ. नहीं वो तो तुम ऋषि वाले बता रही हो ना. वो तो तुम ऋषि वाले बता रहे हो. Many are there. More than 60 are there. And each time some other also claims to be. So a lot of other people start claiming we are also some particular type of Brahmins. 108. 60 तो बहुत ही मेजर है. 108 हो गए, बताओ. 108. So many types of castes claim a particular varna. Like Vaishyas are claimed by all the Agarwals, Baniyas, Maheshwaris, Guptas, and even Sunars. All of them are Vaishyas. They come under the varna Vaishya. Okay. Similarly, the term is holistic. Shudra is exactly nobody is exactly a Shudra. It's a collection of lot of other castes coming in a particular word, and this became hereditary Because of reason you know now. And when so many castes are there, is caste a problem? Caste is not a, how many of you think caste is a problem? Caste is a problem? Two people think caste is a problem. Ma'am, Islam के शिया सुन्नी को caste बोल नहीं सकते. No, they are not caste, they are sects. Shia is a sect and Sunni is a sect. So again, Shia and Sunni fight is because of a historical event. How many of you know what is the difference between Shia and Sunni? Yes. Disciple one is Sunni. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. So, पढ़ लेना जाके, बहुत लंबी कहानी है. Daughter नहीं, son-in-law अतुल. Okay. So different castes. So caste is not a problem. What is problem? Casteism. Problem starts with, what is casteism? Yes, Rohit, very good. Hierarchy is the problem. Till the time you are a Rajput and any other person is a Kori or some other different caste, not a problem. Till the time you are a Chandelier Brahmin and any other person is from any other caste, not a problem. But when there comes a notion of superiority and inferiority, when you say this type of Brahmins are higher than this or that caste, then there is a problem. And when you start thinking about interests of your own caste only, then there is a problem. If you think that, my caste people should get all the benefits, or, you start associating your interest with the caste people. Hum log, we and they concept. We matlab, my caste people. They means all other castes. That concept when emerges, that is the problem. When you keep your interest above the interest of all others. When you demand specific benefits from the government, specific this from the government, even without thinking how the other castes will be affected, then it is casteism. So caste may not be a problem. I'm not saying it is not. I am saying may not be a problem, but casteism is definitely a problem. समझ में आता है? लिखो. Casteism. Partial one-sided loyalty to one's caste. Partial one-sided loyalty to one's caste is known as casteism. Is known as casteism. Full stop. Next point. Caste may not be a problem, but casteism is definitely a social, moral, political, economic hazard. Sense of caste is benign. Sense of caste is benign. चाहो तो ब्रैकेट में लिख लो इस चीज को हम क्या कह सकते हैं? कास्ट कॉन्शियसनेस. बिनाइन मतलब not harmful. Knowing your caste is not wrong. It doesn't harm anybody. If you are a गर्ग और यार तुम लोग अपनी कास्ट बताओ तभी मजा आएगा. अरे किसी को पता है अपनी अपनी कास्ट है? तुम्हें नहीं पता? लग रहा है? You don't know your गोत्र? How many of you know your gotra? How many of you don't know your gotra? No. ना देखो, सब इन सबको सब पता है. भूमियार कास्ट, कश्यप गोत्र. ये मतलब इतना तो यार अपनी उसके बारे में पता ही होना चाहिए. तेलुगु पद्मशाली. बनिया कास्ट. अगस्त हाँ, अगस्त गोत्र. साधु ऋषि गोत्र. So you understand? So knowing your caste or gotra is not wrong. What is wrong? अब लिखो. But that caste consciousness which leads to but that caste consciousness which leads to number 1, sense of superiority. Number 1, sense of superiority of one caste over other. Sense of superiority of one caste over other. Second, interests of one caste over other castes. Leads to casteism. Interest of one caste over other castes leads to casteism, which is wrong. Which is wrong. Next point, paragraph जो करना है. Casteism is the blind, rigid. Casteism is the blind, rigid, overriding. Blind, rigid, overriding supreme loyalty towards. Overriding supreme loyalty towards own caste. Ignoring the healthy social standards of own castes. Ignoring the healthy social standards of equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity. Social standards of equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity. Note. Gandhiji equated casteism with appendix. Gandhiji equated casteism with appendix in human body. Appendix होता है ना? A finger-like projection from between small and large intestine. Till the time it is healthy, it causes no problem. It causes no problem. But a rotten appendix must be removed, else it can endanger the organism. Else it can endanger the organism. So casteism. Understood? क्या प्रॉब्लम है? सुपीरियोरिटी नहीं होनी चाहिए और इंटरेस्ट्स की ओवरराइडिंग नहीं होनी चाहिए. टिल दैट टाइम अगर ये दोनों चीजें नहीं है कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन सारी चीजें स्टार्ट होती हैं यहाँ से. before we go on to Ambedkar Sahab and how he talked about annihilation of caste or who were the Shudras, how many of you understand the gravity of caste discrimination? No, you don't understand. So currently in modern times, we have nearly forgotten about caste and caste discrimination because modern urban lifestyles are such which gives us the power to move beyond these identities. But in villages, these identities are still very important. And in ancient times, they were the driving forces. Driving forces means all your perks, privileges, social status were linked to your caste. And this social stratification translated into political and economic stratification. Simple. Socially, if you are higher, you will have more economic power and you will have more political power. Less social status, less money and less voice in polity. Simple. And that is why there was this notion of upper caste and lower caste, because of this only. So there, to make you understand why this was a big issue, lower castes were not allowed to take water from the same well as the upper caste. This means if there is a well in a village, if there is only one well, who will take water out of it? And then from where the lower caste will get their water? Either they will travel a long way to find a well, or they will have to make use of some streams. नदी नाले से उन्हें अपना पानी लेना पड़ेगा, but they could not touch the wells for upper caste. They were not allowed to study because there is this concept of Dvij. How many of you know ancient India history पढ़िए? किस किस को द्विज का कॉन्सेप्ट पता है? पता है? पता है? So out of the four castes, varnas, three varnas, Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya were considered to be Dvij. Dvij means twice born. Once they are naturally born, and second time when the Janeyu is put on, they are born the second time. But Shudras were not given any Janeyu, therefore they were known as Ekjati. Once born only. And the concept of Dvij is so important because only when you are born the twice, you can access the education. This means Shudras were not allowed to study. And some people were so strict with it that they even wrote pathetic things about some of the leaders of that time, that if a Shudra listened to Vedas, what kind of punishment should be given? Burning iron should be poured into the ears of that Shudra because that person could listen to the Vedas. But it was so bad that they were not even allowed to listen. Lower caste, they were not allowed to take footpaths or the major paths of the cities or villages because their shadow was considered to be polluting. And because of this, the lower caste would have to travel a really long paths to cover. तो अगर उनका घर यहाँ पे है और उनका खेत यहाँ पे है, अगर ये मेन सड़क है तो वो ऐसे नहीं जा सकते because higher caste also travels on this. So they will cross all the khet of that area and come here. Because if the shadow is marked on any upper caste, then उनको प्राश्चित करना पड़ेगा और पता नहीं क्या क्या करना. So this notion of purity and pollution was there. Yes, yes, उपनयन संस्कार. Yes, Pari. And they also need, yes, bilkul, Atul. They were forced to tie a broom in their feet so that even if they walk, they clean their footprints simultaneously. Women of lower caste in certain areas of South India, specifically Kerala, they were not allowed to cover their upper body part. Because humiliation, simple. They were not allowed. And even if they were doing anything or whatever, they were walking anywhere, they need to uncover their upper body part. If a higher if a higher caste person comes on the way. And this was so humiliating that a particular lady in history cut off her breasts to make this law go out. Yes, I know. Go and watch the documentary over it. बहुत बहुत खतरनाक. तो कास्ट बहुत अब हमें नहीं पता चलता, लेकिन एक वक्त पे कास्ट और कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन वाज अ वेरी बिग थिंग. No. So India is a very vast country, first. Secondly, history is always written by victors. You have to understand who will write. Bengal, it was prominent because a lot of writers have written and they have many writers have written, and it is not something which is what do you say, hypothetical. So I told you, India is a vast country. In pockets, in certain pockets, it was a big thing, and in certain pockets, it is not. Like today itself. If you say, intercaste marriage is a norm in India, is it? No, but you see intercaste marriage, right? But it's not a no. Similarly, Khap Panchayat, is it a norm? In Delhi, do you see Khap Panchayat? But in Haryana, there is. So this is why. So maybe not all practices are done in one place, but different intensity, different nature of these practices was undertaking in different parts of the country. Now, but they had played a really important role. We are not applying it. In northern India, there was nothing like breast tracks. There was no breast tracks in North India. But in North India, there was untouchability. In North India, there was prohibition of interdining. Even in my experience, I have seen, we once went to a particular village for some function or so, and there they kept separate utensils for the people who were involved in this cleaning and all. And I asked, like, क्यों ये रखे हुए हैं? मतलब मैंने तो अपने आप से चाय, वो एक जैसे घरों में होता है, मैं तो चाय नॉर्मल कप के अंदर ही दे दी, देन दे वाले कप में चाय, कप. But of course, I was a small kid then. But yes, recently only, not too far away. But yes, we have to understand our vision is very myopic. We are very short-sighted. Like, how many of you remember that how we used to travel when there was no GPS? कैसे जाते थे? पूछते पूछते, है ना? और तब भी वो रास्ता पता नहीं पहुंच ही जाते थे. And now can you imagine without GPS how does it work? You don't? You have forgotten. So currently we have forgotten that how the caste system used to play at that time. And most of the time, who will write about these things in empirical way? Who will write? The one who's learned? Shudras were not allowed to study. Will they write their point of view? They cannot. With any of the above, privileged one will write about it. कोई बोलेगा नहीं नहीं हम जालिम हैं, हम ऑप्रेसर्स हैं, ऐसा कोई लिखता है? लिखता है? Few, but most of them. Do you need to understand the art of writing? You read a book. छोड़ो. There is a book named Suyodhan. So it is said that कोई अपने बच्चे का नाम दुर्योधन रखेगा? Will anybody keep his son's name Duryodhan? No? Yes, nobody would, because the real name of Duryodhan was Suyodhan. The real name of Dushasan was Sushasan. And actually, yes, and it tells us about the alternative way of Mahabharat. What if Mahabharat was won by Kauravas? How would they have written the story? And they would also claim that they fought for dharma. They also fought for dharma, no? The son of the eldest should become the king. That is the dharma, Raj dharma. How can any other person claim it? So it is, so let's not go into it. That's literature, and I really like literature and the art of it. We can discuss it sometime further. But coming to the caste discrimination, back. Caste discrimination in our village also, when lower caste go to the upper caste house, eat or drink something, they clean their utensils themselves before leaving. Yes, a lot of these things used to happen. That is why a lot of these thinkers started to protest, change, write about caste and caste discrimination. And at one point, it became such a big hue and cry that it even sabotaged the freedom struggle. In modern history, you will read about how Baba Saheb Ambedkar did the Pune Pact, second round table conference, this, that. You will read all of it. So it is said that the Bhimrao Ambedkar Sahab and Gandhi ji both were against caste discrimination, but their solutions were very different. Very, very, very different. अब दोनों के डिफरेंट क्यों है, उसमें भी एक नजरिया भी समझ में आएगा. वो इसलिए क्योंकि गांधी जी क्या है? अपर कास्ट. अंबेडकर जी क्या है? And now their understanding of caste and caste discrimination will be different, and their solutions are also very different. Gandhi ji gives a moral spiritual solution, and Ambedkar ji gives a revolutionary solution. Very, very strict solution. So first, Ambedkar ji, when started, we all know that he was from a depressed class, and he was very much discriminated in starting, but he was a really genius student, and he was helped by the king of Baroda, and he was given education. He was even sent to the foreign university because of that scholarship. And now we cannot say that upper caste hadn't helped Ambedkar ji be Ambedkar, because Ambedkar. Achha. But yes, and a lot of upper caste people helped Ambedkar ji in his pursuit of education and excellence. And that is why when he came back from his law practice and he started his law practice, he fought the cases of many depressed classes, and he fought for the cause. And he also studied. In his study, he wrote a book, Who Were the Shudras? He gave a theory that who were the Shudras. उसने कहा पहले सिर्फ और सिर्फ कितने वर्ण थे? 3, ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय एंड वैश्य. अब आगे की कहानी सुनेंगे बाद में, पहले लिख लो, ऐसे क्लाइमेक्स बना रहेगा ना. B.R. अम्बेडकर साहब लिख लो, डॉक्टर B.R. अम्बेडकर. Two books he wrote, Who Were the Shudras, and second, Annihilation of Caste. Annihilation मतलब क्या होता है? खत्म करना, to burn it, annihilate. He analyzed the origins of caste. He analyzed the origin of caste. Number 1, Varn. Varn. It was the division of labor in Vedic times. It was the division of labor in Vedic times with only 3 Varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. Full stop. Some Kshatriyas had conflict with Brahmins. Some Kshatriyas had conflict with Brahmins, and they were designated as Shudras. And they were designated as Shudras. Second, caste. Various Varn moved to different regions. Various Varn moved to different regions, adopting different occupation, lifestyles, and rituals. Adopting different lifestyles, occupations, and rituals. Originating different castes. Originating different castes. Next point, untouchability. Untouchability arose due to Buddhist Brahmanical conflict. Buddhist Brahmanical conflict. Under the influence of Buddhism, Brahmins also adopted ahimsa and no meat policy. Full stop. Those who did not adopt vegetarianism were branded as untouchables. तो who were the शूद्रास के अंदर उन्होंने हिस्ट्री पढ़ी, ये सब पढ़ा और उन्होंने ये एनालाइज किया that from where the Shudras and untouchability came in the Hindu religion, and he said that those Kshatriyas who came in conflict with Brahmins, they were designated as Shudras by Brahmins. And later date, Brahmanism and Buddhism came into conflict, and those people who did not adopt vegetarianism were termed as untouchables. So according to B.R. Ambedkar Sahab, all Shudras are basically rebel Kshatriyas, and all untouchables are non-vegetarian. Those upper varna who did not adopt vegetarianism, basically. So he explained it that from where these designations came in. We cannot say or contest it is true or not, because history is something, I just told you, can be interpreted in many different ways. But this was the interpretation of Ambedkar ji. Simple. And what are the problems of caste discrimination? क्यों नहीं करना चाहिए बताओ? क्या होता है? Okay, equality of opportunity is not there. Dignity of individual. Inferiority complex. What else? Humanism. Value of human degrades. What else? Social integration is hampered, right? Social integration weakens. National integration weakens. है ना? चलो, conflicts. Merit is ignored. है ना? Merit is ignored. हो सकता है that a person who is a lower caste, but he can learn a lot faster. He's a genius. Like B.R. Ambedkar Sahab. Gradation in society, therefore loss of fraternity. Yes. यहीं पे इसी का सब point कर लो. Loss of fraternity. What else? We cannot say barbaric. Barbaric is very, what do you say? Monstrous. Loss of public morality, okay. और बताओ भाई. Hamper social development. Okay. Doesn't it also hamper the choice of occupation? Can a Shudra become the priest of a temple? No. Restriction. Whatsoever good. But can a Brahmin become what do you say, a cleaner in village system. Right now you people will not be able to understand because the dynamics have changed, you know. But in village system where this casteism is still practiced, you cannot. So division of labor, is it scientific or unscientific? ये सब पॉइंट लिख लिए और लिख लो, unscientific division of labor. Individual dignity, choice and merit is ignored. Individual's dignity, choice and merit is ignored. Next, Hindu society becomes stagnant, closed and oppressive. कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के कारण लोगों को लगने लगता है हम हिंदू पैदा ही क्यों हैं. Stagnant, closed and oppressive. National integration हमने लिख ही लिया. Image in international arena. Our image gets hampered. आपको पता है अभी रिसेंटली न्यूज में आया था that recently a paper was published or what I don't remember it exactly, but NRIs complained about caste discrimination. NRIs, they said that caste discrimination is happening in US among Indians. मतलब they really proved. Yes. Okay, next. Economic opportunity and equality is hampered. Counterproductive for economy. Counterproductive for economy. Politicization भी हो जाता है कास्ट का, इसीलिए politicization of caste. आसान है ना भड़काना, कितना आसान है. अभी बताओ किसी को कोई आप बुला दो, so देखो there are certain things, all parochial identities make you weak. Like how many of you, any one of you is confident that they cannot be manipulated? हाँ, raise your hand. गुस्सा नहीं आएगा तुम्हें? पक्का? पक्का गुस्सा नहीं आएगा? श्योर? अच्छा कौन थे? दोबारा हाथ खड़ा करो. अरे तुम लोगों को तो अभी चुटकियों में दिलवाते हैं गुस्सा. बताओ कौन सी कास्ट है तुम्हारी? हाँ, अरे बहुत आसान है, तुम लोग ऐसे मुझसे पंगे मत लो, मैं बता रही हूँ. अभी तुम्हारी रिलीजन, कास्ट, जितनी तुम्हारी पैरोकियल आइडेंटिटीज है ना, ऑल योर पैरोकियल आइडेंटिटीज आर योर वीकनेसेस. Yeah, let's not take any one person, but the moment you will be shown some visuals, how the people of your caste or religion were treated badly, you will read some books or some text and some examples and how the people were prosecuted. Immediately, what comes? हमारे साथ ऐसा किया.
That's because of that is done with an human being, not because of someone from my caste or my caste. Just what
it is generally. I'll tell you. The more what do you say? The more wise you become, the less attached you will become to your parochial identities. Till the time you are attached too much with your. अच्छा कौन किसने ऐसे लिखवाया हुआ है? वो क्या लिखवाते हैं तुम लोग? गाड़ी के पीछे। अरे नहीं नहीं, जाट है। सिंह इज किंग, सिंह इज किंग। सीरियसली, गली गली में किंग घूम रहे हैं। हाँ, राजपूतों दा लड़का, पता नहीं क्या। ऑल दिस, मतलब वट एवर यू टेक। तो कास्ट, रिलीजन, अरे रिलीजन तो अभी जरा सा पिन मारने की जरूरत है, एंड योर रिलीजियस what do you say, insecurities will come up, your caste insecurities will come up. Yes, so fine, let's not go into it, you are still young, you can learn your lessons along the way. Okay, but yes, politicization of caste is because of insecurities of castes. Like a person who is not good but may say that I will protect the caste interest and can make all the people of that particular caste vote for him. Fine. So people generally say, na, अरे इस caste से कौन खड़ा हुआ है? They are not concerned whether that person is good or bad. You know, if it is, if he is from the, or if he or she is from the same caste. Okay, come back. Constitutional. Caste discrimination is prohibited by.
Which attachments are good? Which attachments are good? Because if the attachment is towards nation, and then anybody say about nation, then it's good that.
तुमने रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर पढ़ा है? You know, Rabindranath Tagore says that nationalism is also देखो, अब ये बहुत अच्छी बात इसमें हम लोगों ने कास्टिज्म में पढ़ी थी. Having a caste is not bad. Loving your nation is not bad. Till the time you do not harbor the sense of superiority and putting your interests first than other interests. Simple. And philosophically, if we try to understand spiritually, it is sthit pragya. Sthit pragya. What is sthit pragya? We have to understand that good people are found in all religions, all castes, all genders, all races, all nationalities, all colors, all XYZ, whatever you want to put, all religions. And bad people are found in equally, all of them. So if you want to have some attachment, let us be attached to good. Simple. Just because a person is from the same religion or same caste, it doesn't prove that person is good or bad. Simple. But these identities also serve a good purpose also. It is, everyone will have certain identities, because problem is that we cannot live without identity. किसी भी country में देखो, कोई ना कोई identity create हुई है. Certain tribe, certain caste, certain races. Even Plato said three what do you say, divisions of society. And philosophers, warriors, producers. We cannot live without classification because we need that identity. Where do I belong? We are so insecure people. We need to hook ourselves to something. And all of these identities are the hooks that we create for our existence. And till the time these hooks are good, till the time you feel you are okay, you know, till the time you are being felicitated after selection by your Jat Sabha, Brahman Sabha, Vaishya Sabha, it's good. But the problem is, if you start putting the interests one over the other, then there is a problem. If you want to help someone, fine. But if you say, I will harm the other person and for the benefit of my people, then there is a problem. Simple. And this principle applies everywhere. ठीक है? और क्या लिखना है हमें? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो गया. मॉडर्न सोसाइटी के लिए भी कंड्यूसिव नहीं है कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन, ये तो हमें पता ही है. So for this, Ambedkar Sahab said that what can be the solution of removing caste discrimination? What can be the solution? He tried the reformation, but it didn't work. He rejected the Gandhiji's notion of change of heart because he realized that heart doesn't change easily. And he was a person who wanted results. Therefore, he said that only solution of removing caste discrimination is annihilation of caste. Let us remove the caste altogether. Caste ko hata hi do. He said that caste is creating the problem for the Hindu religion itself. Therefore, if we want to save the Hindu religion, then we must burn, eradicate, and remove the caste. And he is famous for burning Manusmriti, where the caste was emphasized in a क्या आ गया था पीछे? Where the caste is removed altogether. तो उन्होंने एक तरीका भी बताया how society could be arranged or how Hindu religion could be arranged by removing the caste. लिखो, ये लिख लिया हमने arguments against caste discrimination. इसमें spiritually भी जोड़ लोगे ना, spiritually and religiously all souls are same, equal. Like?
He wanted to annihilate the religion itself. No. At the end, in the speech.
At the end, later on, तो वो बहुत ही distress हो गए थे. But his initial idea was not to. अभी आएगा. अभी पहले he will try to rearrange Hindu system. And what solutions he is giving, we will write and then we will see that because it could not have happened, it could not happen. Therefore, उन्होंने कहा यार ये नहीं सुधरेंगे, छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा. मैं क्या लिख पा रही थी? Okay. हाँ. Solutions given by B.R. Ambedkar Sahab to abolish caste discrimination. To abolish caste discrimination, he suggested that caste system should be annihilated or removed. According to him, caste discrimination is integral to the caste system. Integral to the caste system. And only way to remove caste discrimination. बार बार caste discrimination लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Only way to remove caste discrimination is to remove the caste system. Therefore, he gave certain points to reform Hindu religion. He gave certain steps or points to reform Hindu religion. Number 1, Caste discrimination is based in religious philosophy, religion and philosophy. Caste discrimination is based on religion and philosophy, with its base in Brahmanical system. With its base in Brahmanical system. Therefore, he advised to question and reject the holiness attached to caste. Reject the holiness attached to caste. Basically उन्होंने कहा ब्राह्मण क्यों पूजने हैं? पूजने जैसी कोई बात नहीं है. उन्होंने कहा कोई पूजने वाली बात नहीं है. Till the time you will be considering पूजनीय means worship worthy, till that time you will not be able to remove the notion of higher and lower. Why does any other person from other caste come and touch the feet of a Brahmin? Why should other people require a Brahmin if the child is born in their house? Why the other caste require a Brahmin only to solemnize their marriage? Why can't other people solemnize it? All the importance of one or the other caste is basically because of practices and rituals and belief system that have been created. Why can Brahmin only solemnize the marriage? Why can't others solemnize it? So he said we should reject the holiness attached to the caste. So caste is not a purity test. Caste is not a purity pollution test. Remove that. Understood? First step. Second step. One religious text of Hinduism be chosen and set. This means choose only one religious text. He said that main problem is that in Hinduism, so many texts are there. Vedas, then Brahmanas, then Aranyakas, then Upanishad, then Gita is also there, then Ramayana is also there, Mahabharata is also, so many books are there. This Puran, that Puran. So many Puran, he says, and in each one, the notion is very different. Some will consider caste discrimination, some will not, this and that. He said this creates confusion. And like all other religions, Hinduism should follow one book. We should choose what book we shall follow. And definitely, it should not be anything like Manusmriti. Because Manusmriti was a book which talked about caste discrimination this is what Ambedkar ji thought, that it supports caste discrimination, therefore he burnt it. And he wanted one book to be followed. Third step. Post of religious person or priest. Post of religious person or priest be filled by competitive examination. By competitive examination, number one. Well, A, subpart A, competitive examination. B, posts should be open for all varnas. Post should be open for all varnas. Priests should be designated as government officials. Fourth, number of religious people should be controlled by state. I think a real problem starts, Ambedkar ji said, real problem starts because of whether you go to whichever temple you go to, priests are always Brahmins. And he said that if learnedness needs to be checked, then why not have an open competition which can recite the shloka in the best format without any pronunciation mistake? It should be open for all, just like UPSC. There should be a competitive examination where a competition can be held and the best person should be appointed as the priest, even if he is a or she is a Shudra. They should be appointed as the priest and they should be given salary and protection by the government so that their status, their economic well-being is not hampered in any way. Third, they should be designated as government official because then they cannot discriminate. Government officials cannot discriminate. They are not been given salary by any particular section of the people. They have to perform their duty. And lastly, number of priests should be controlled by state. ऐसे गली गली में ऐसा नहीं कि मैं भी बाबा हूं तुम भी बाबा 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 हर कोई आशीर्वाद देता फिर रहा है. No. He said that only the top eligible people should be designated as priests. Next point. Promotion of intercaste marriage and interdining. Promote intercaste marriage and interdining. He also suggested, next point, he also suggested lower caste too. उनको भी कोई suggestions दिए उन्होंने. Sub point A, focus on cleanliness. Second, give up on any demeaning profession like cleaning. Give up on any demeaning job like cleaning. C, move to cities and take up new jobs. Next, get yourself educated. Get yourself educated. तो उन्होंने लोअर कास्ट को क्या बोला? Cleanliness. अरे बोलो. Get educated. He said that discrimination will stop only when you acquire all of these things. He rather promoted people to leave villages and go to city. He said, don't stay in villages, go to city. Get yourself educated, get new professions. And lastly, he had something for the state also. He was creating a model, no? So for state, he asked state to establish economic democracy by, he asked state to create economic democracy by number A, affirmative actions like reservation. Affirmative actions like reservation. Empowerment through, next is B, empowerment through quality education and removal of poverty through welfare schemes. Poverty. by welfare. अब उनका मानना था कि इससे Chaitanya, no, it will not harm the freedom of conscience, because he is not saying that number of people following the religion should be restricted, but only the priests should be limited. Okay, so Ambedkar ji thought that the people will adopt this system and caste discrimination will stop. He tried everything, legal and popular or all other ways. But slowly and steadily, he realized that this is not going to happen. Neither people are going to reject caste, neither there is going to be a situation where they adopt only one book, or all these steps that he has talked about. And he realized that he is fighting a lost war, because it's very difficult for people to change. He tried legal means, he tried all these things, and later on he felt exhausted. And he said that it is impossible to reform Hindu religion and it is better to leave it. Therefore, he left Hinduism and en masse, along with his followers, converted to Buddhism. With this, B.R. Ambedkar ji. But yes, criticism. What is the criticism? Criticism of B.R. Ambedkar sir's approach. His methods were revolutionary and not practical. लिख लो, criticism भी फिर बोलोगे हमें समझ नहीं आया criticism में क्या लिखे, लिखो तुम. His methods were revolutionary and not practical. He even acted against Indian national freedom movement. He even acted against national movement to support for caste cause. Basically, he was trying, एक और criticism है, he was trying to solve a social problem through legal means. Isn't it? He was trying कि law बन जाए. लेकिन law से थोड़े ना society reform होती है. He was trying a legal solution for a social problem. Importance, is there any importance? Responsible. Well, he promoted it. No. Okay, what else? Constitutional safeguards for depressed classes. Constitutional safeguards were introduced by his efforts. He brought in awakening and inspiration. Second, he brought in awakening and inspiration for depressed classes. He rationally and scientifically questioned the foundation of caste system. He rationally and scientifically questioned the foundation of caste system. He introduced the rights theory in constitution against exploitation. He introduced the rights theory. Rights theory मतलब rights उन्होंने बहुत strong बनाए. against exploitation. Last में लिख लो note. Ambedkar ji realized that annihilation of caste is the utopian idea. Ambedkar ji realized that annihilation of caste is a utopian idea. Therefore, he converted to Buddhism en masse. Buddhism en masse. En masse मतलब along with lot of people. Ambedkar ji was not the only person who was trying to remove caste discrimination. Another person was Gandhi ji, working really hard to remove caste discrimination, but he was in support of Varna system. He was in support of Varna ashram system. He said that this Varna ashram system is a division of labor on the basis of specialization. And it helps in structuring the society in such a manner that nobody has to work for a longer hour. Rather, they will have time more for spiritual awakening. He said that it is a very good social structure. People who are learned are learning. People who are fighting are fighting. People who are producing are producing. People who are taking care of everybody else are taking care of everybody else. He said there is nothing wrong. And he said that all the work is equally important. Supposedly, tomorrow, all the cleaning people go on a strike. What will happen? Everybody else will not be able to work. Because streets will be full of filth. Nothing will be cleaned up. Everything will stink. This means that for all the other people to work, it is very important that there must be someone who's taking care of our course, like a mother or a doctor. Just as a mother cleans up the baby, only then the baby can survive. And we love our mother because she cares for us. भाई ऐसे समझो, अभी तुम लोगों को समझ आएगा नहीं, फिर भी I can try. You know, the primary job of mother after the baby is born is potty dhona. सच में, whoever there is, but this job comes to the primarily to mother. And it's not a very, what do you say? It's not a very desirable job. But if mother doesn't do it, then who else will? Can you understand this? You all have been big, strong because there was a mother once who cleaned you regularly. So he said, Gandhiji said that we should be giving the same respect to the work of Shudras or the clean, the people who keep the entire thing clean. And that is why he said that this is the work of service, very similar to the work of mother or a doctor. And it demands superior respect. He said that all jobs are equal in their status. So the work of a neuroscientist, a work of a coder, work of a teacher, work of a civil servant, work of an industrialist, and work of a sweeper, work of a sewage cleaner, all is agricultural laborer, all is equal, equally respectful, because all of them are working in a particular domain, and that particular domain is very important. Problem arises when we start putting the work in a hierarchy. We say that, oh, neuroscientist work is much higher in status, and a sweeper's work is lower. And only when you put it in hierarchy that the problem of caste discrimination starts. If there is no discrimination, all castes are equal and equally important, then will caste pose a problem? Then it will not pose a problem. That is why he called the people from lower caste or depressed classes as Harijan. Harijan means people of the God. Those people who, like God, serve us, clean us, keep the things clean for us. How many of you talk with respect to the sweepers and the people who come and clean your houses? All of you? Yes, you must. Hai na? It's very important. And you know, I'll tell you one thing. If you just talk to them with respect, they will give you double respect. And they even if you don't give them money, but if you give them good respect, it's very important. I never call them, ऐसे सफाई वाले भैया इधर आओ ना, ऐसे नहीं. क्या बोल सकते हैं हम उन्हें? भैया जी, कैन यू प्लीज हेल्प मी? आप मुझे थोड़ी सी मदद करेंगे यहाँ से? अगर ये कर, you know, talk to them with respect. Very important for their dignity. Because nobody likes somebody else talking to them in harsh and demeaning manner. So it's very important. आंटी अंकल कह के बात करनी चाहिए. ए भैया, ए भैया. ऐसे नहीं. ए वेटर, वेटर. No. क्या? And how many of you go to a dhaba and say, Chotu, Chotu? है ना? Try some more dignified ways of calling people. Okay, fine. Coming back. So he says, Gandhiji says that all work is equal and even rich should work for earning their bread money. Rich should also earn. वो सूद काटने का वो था ना पूरा, भाई वो चलाते थे ना चरखा. क्यों चलाते थे गांधी जी? खाली टाइम था उनके पास बहुत. अरे भाई, what is the significance of charkha? So he used to spin the yarn. What would he do with the yarn then? He would make some cloth. What will he do with the cloth? He'll sell it and earn money. And this money, with this money, he will buy his bread. He said that even rich should do it because some form of physical labor should be involved in earning that bread you are eating. He cleaned toilets while he was in this South Africa. अब तुमने बुक भी नहीं पढ़ी होगी, उनकी कहानी भी नहीं पढ़ी होगी. My experiments with truth पढ़ी है? In South Africa, there is this incident where he cleans up all the toilets. नहीं पता. And he even made his wife do it once. And his wife was very furious, Kasturba Bai. Very furious. But why he himself cleaned it? To show that this is not a demeaning work. Every work is equal. And rather he promoted that each one of us should clean our own toilets. Never sublet this one thing. Matlab, try to. Until unless there is some really grave thing that you cannot move your hands, you should try and clean your own toilets. You all have Harpics. Fine. Don't give this work to anybody else because it's not good. So Gandhiji himself did it. And another way he understood caste was that he said that to remove caste discrimination, we need to have a little spiritual bent of mind. What is spiritual bent of mind? All of us are from the same God, the same Atma. Remember, Gandhiji is a new Vedantin. Gandhiji is a new Vedantin. And he says that each one of us is equally the child of God, equally. The same Brahm or the same Atma is present in all of us. And there is no one superior and no one inferior. We are all the same and equal in value. Therefore, he believed in the spiritual understanding. He said that we should follow the Varna system because it helps us specialize and it removes the unhealthy competition. Supposedly, at the time of birth itself, you know what should be your occupation. A lot of wasted efforts saved, isn't it? आपको पता है क्या? अब बाकी टाइम क्या करोगे? According to Gandhiji, I'm not promoting it absolutely. But according to Gandhiji, what will you do in your spare time? You can work for your spiritual enhancement and advancement. You will have a lot of free time because no exams, no unhealthy competition, no competitive exams. So someone is a engineer coming here, UPSC, doctor, CA, other professions also, architect, and then all of you are giving civil services. And now, according to Gandhiji, this is an unhealthy competition. It's wasting everybody's time. Rather, whatever is the profession, he says that profession is okay. But what about the rest of the things that you need to pursue? Supposedly, you want to make a painting. In this unhealthy competition, will you have time for a painting? Will you have time to think about what is my... अब तुमने philosophy ले लिया, लेकिन philosophy से पहले कभी किसी ने सोचा था? Any one of you had any thought whether my soul is eternal or not? What will happen to me after? कभी कभी ना, but not in depth. And he says that rather or on focusing on professions, this, that, what should a person do? Focus on spiritual awakening. So his theory is a social, ethical, and moral theory. He's not actually talking about economics much, right? And he focuses on change of heart. He says that गांधीगिरी जो दिखाई है ना मुन्ना भाई MBBS movie में, that is, he says change of heart. He says that if a person is doing caste discrimination, you should try and change his heart. If he does the discrimination once, you don't get angry. You try for the next time. If he hits you at the left cheek, then you present your... And if you do it enough, then once, well, a time will come when the person will have a change of heart. And our aim is to make them realize that casteism is a bad thing. that caste discrimination is a bad thing. And with this, socially and slowly, we will remove caste discrimination. And there will be a world where all work will be equal, with no hierarchy and equal status of all caste. लेकिन ये कैसी थ्योरी है? Ideal, utopian. Such utopian world not possible. This is a reformative theory, right? Gandhiji is trying to reform the society, but isn't it a difficult thing? Because a lot of vested interests are. So if you go to a person, landlord, some landlord castes are there. If you go to them and say, देखो भैया, तुम्हारे पास तो इतनी जमीन है, you have so much land, that poor, he is discriminated on caste basis also. And if you provide him with half your land, अरे तुम्हारे पास तो जमीन है भी नहीं, तब भी तुम्हें दुख हो गया. हाँ, 1/10. देख रहे हो, इनके पास तो जमीन भी नहीं है, इन्हें तो देनी भी नहीं है. And if you ask for 1/10 of land from somebody, will they say caste discrimination नहीं करना चाहिए? Vested interest, है ना? So definitely the Gandhiji's method is too utopian, too idealistic, and such thing is not very practical. His idea is good, but practically very difficult. अब लिखो. मैं पढ़ा देती हूँ, फिर मेरा लिखवाने का मन नहीं करता. देखो, तुम लोग डिसाइड कर लो यार. Raise your hand. How many of? नहीं यार, तुम लिखो. नोट्स तो मैंने दे ही रखे तुम लोगों को, सब मैंने बोल दिया LMS पे डलवा दो सारे नोट्स. डाउनलोड नहीं हो पाएंगे, बुक तो मिलेंगी ना. बुक तो ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चों को, अच्छा ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चों को, ऑल ऑफ यू ऑनलाइन पीपल विल गेट योर बुक्स very recently. So there is this one book which is pending, Indian philosophy. Because of that, everything is getting delayed. My team told me, but you will get it within, what do you say? Acha, so you have received the message. And I also saw a message in the group, informal group, formal, jo bhi hai wo, formal, informal group, that someone, Nagraj, wants to start a answer writing initiative. है ना? How many of you want to join it? अरे, how many of you want to write answers, भाई, on Telegram? अरे यार, so there are answers that we check, but do you want to create a community for peer learning? How many of you want to do it? Practice na. So what we can do, that we can create a separate group, है ना? We can create a separate group and we will send the link to the main group. Those of you want to join this answer writing, peer learning, whatever it is, initiative group, है ना? You people can do it. Fine. देखो, our understanding, my understanding is rather that any good work like answer writing should be promoted. It, you know, it brings me to tears when you people say that you want to write answer. So I cannot stop it. I am overwhelmed. that if you really want to do it, you should be able to and allowed to. We will facilitate it. At the same time, I don't want you to form any informal groups apart from what do you say, someone looking over it, because lot of what do you say, wrong activities can also take place. So if you form any informal group, don't come to us. उसने मुझे ये कह दिया, that boy has taken my number, this has done this, that person is targeting me, he has asked for my notes, he took this, he or she took that. No. If it is in a formal group, the group created by Tathastu, only then we will entertain such things, because only then we can do something. In informal group, you fight like cats and dogs. What can we do? Someone abuses you, है ना? So we will form a group. There you share your notes and answers, and rather, if time will be there, I will also someday, in 10-15 days, whenever I will have time, I will scroll through and see what kind of answers you people are writing. Fine? Okay, this is second thing. पक्का लिखवा सकती हूँ मैं. I can start. We can discuss gender discrimination now then. Fine? Difference लिखवा दूँ? ये गांधी and Ambedkar. देखो मिल तो सब कुछ जाएगा, है ना? You will find everything in printed notes, but if you want, then we can write it also. है ना? Okay. Right. Gandhi ji and Ambedkar ji. Discriminate. Gandhi ji also. I will get you the Gandhi ji's. I will try. Chalo, ठीक है. लिखो. Gandhi ji, number 1. He gave the name Harijan. Ambedkar ji gave the name depressed classes. Gandhi ji considered religion and Varna system to be the fountainhead of morality. Religion as fountainhead of morality. Ambedkar ji, religion is merely a tool. Religion is merely a tool to perform certain social functions like religion is merely a tool to perform certain social functions like solemnization of marriage. Solemnization of marriage. Therefore, religion of rules should be replaced by, therefore, religion of rules should be replaced by religion of principles. Religion of principle. Gandhiji wanted to keep Varna system. Gandhiji wanted to keep Varna system as integral part of religion and society. As integral part of religion and society, but wanted to reform it. But wanted to reform it by removing discrimination. Wanted to reform it by removing discrimination. Are you able to write at this speed? All of you? Very good. Ambedkar ji felt annihilation is the only way to attain, annihilation of caste is the only way to attain social justice. Gandhi ji was against industrialization and urbanization. Gandhi ji was against industrialization and urbanization. And he suggested everyone to avoid them. Everyone to avoid them, as they make people greedy and immoral. As it makes people greedy and immoral. Full stop. Therefore, he focused on village economy. Focus on village economy. पता ही होगा ओशियानिक सर्कल थ्योरी वगैरह दी थी एथिक्स में, पढ़ोगे तुम लोग, है ना? लाइक ओशियन वेव्स एवरीथिंग कम्स, पढ़ोगे एथिक्स में पढ़ोगे. चलो. Ambedkar ji considered modernization and urbanization as liberating force. Modernization and urbanization as liberating force for depressed classes. Gandhiji's approach was gradual reformation and persuasion. Gradual reformation and persuasion. गांधी जी क्या कर रहे थे? ग्रेजुअली रिफॉर्म करो, परसुएड करो, थ्रू चेंज ऑफ हार्ट. गांधी जी's approach was reformation and persuasion with change of heart. Ambedkar ji's approach was revolutionary. तोड़ दो, जला दो, फाड़ दो, मतलब एकदम एकदम ऐसे ही कर दो, खत्म कर दो कास्ट को. Note. Ambedkar Sahib criticized Gandhiji by saying that whitewashing cannot save a whitewashing मतलब paint, सफेदी. Whitewashing cannot save the dilapidated building. Dilapidated building मतलब जर्जर, मीन्स जो बिल्डिंग टूट रही होती है. हाँ, हाँ. Dilapidated building, comma, you must pull it down and build anew. You must pull it down and build anew. Basically, Ambedkar ji is saying the building that has completely broken, you cannot whitewash and mend it. You must bring it down, remove all the structure and create a new structure. Just whitewashing, just saying that, caste is good, but caste discrimination is bad, is just a whitewash, because with the notion of caste comes the notion of superiority and inferiority. With the caste comes the notion of purity and pollution. Therefore, till the caste remains, and till the, later on he said, till the religion remains, it will not be, we will not be able to remove caste discrimination. अब गांधी जी कि नोट्स जरूर किसी 2-4 बच्चों को ऐसा लग रहा होगा कि यार वो गांधी जी भी हम लिख ही लेते, है ना। तो गांधी जी, एक काम करते हैं, मैं ना ये लिखवा देती हूँ। नहीं अभी नहीं, मैं नहीं लिखवा रही, मैं बहुत बोर हो जाती हूँ। ये मैं टीम से लिखवा के ग्रुप में डलवा देती हूँ, ठीक है, फाइन। मेरी हैंडराइटिंग वैसे तो तुम्हें समझ में आ जाएगी, बट मेरा स्ट्रक्चर समझ नहीं आएगा, तो मैं लिखवा देती हूँ एक बार दोबारा से अच्छे से स्ट्रक्चर में, एंड देन आई विल सेंड इट टू द ग्रुप दीज नोट्स ऑफ गांधी जी ऑल्सो, है ना। सो nobody should be crying, fine, okay. Tomorrow we will be doing gender discrimination. Okay, tomorrow let's have a class, gender discrimination. Okay. Same time, same time. Tomorrow is extra class, regular class. Let us have an extended session together tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes, yes, extended, है ना. Let us have, we will finish. आज भी बोली थी क्या मैंने 7 बजे? ये ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चों को क्या परेशानी है? ऑफलाइन बच्चों को तो चलो घर जाना है, ऑनलाइन वाले तो वहीं पे बैठे हो तुम लोग घर पे, रिकॉर्डेड देख लो। चलो कल करते हैं 7 बजे वाली क्लास, ठीक है, ओके, बाय बाय।